Have you ever heard the expression of a split archetype before? There are a lot of books written on major split archetypes, from being the fool to being a king to being a deity, dependent on what it is that you're learning in this consciousness. But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm referring to is the versions of our own selves that are lost within ourselves. So, what does that mean? It means when you have trauma and something has happened to you in your life, and then let's say you push it underneath the rug and then you don't ever have to look at it again, and 5 years go by, 10 years go by, 20 years go by, you haven't even thought about this experience that happened to you. And that version of you is still quite alive. That consciousness is still there. And it can come up and it can drive our proverbial buses, as they say. So you may exemplify behaviors that are not quite like you, or maybe childish, or a different version of you that's just not quite you, and you don't know, well, where did that behavior even come from? Well, that's how you know that you have a split archetype version of you kind of running your ship when you least expect it. And so it's very important to be aware when different versions of you are popping up, because that's their way of saying, hey, I'm trying to get your attention. I'm trying to tell you something that's really important. And a lot of times we'll berate ourselves for feeling a way or behaving a certain way and being angry, like, why did I do that? If that's ever happened to you. I know it's happened to me before. And so rather than going down that path, you can go inside yourself and say, hey, why am I feeling this way? Have I ever felt this way before when I'm having this reaction to whatever it is? And what was happening to me when it was going on? What was my environment? What's going on? And where do I hold that inside my body? And these are questions that you can ask yourself to start connecting to that archetype version of you that's still within the cellular body. And that is why it's imperative to do practices that take you into your cellular body, so your connection with these versions of you that are trying to get your attention will be easier. And in time, you'll learn which questions you can find out and ask that you did not know that can help you with. So important to know what split archetypes are and to be mindful when they come up. I would also suggest to make a journal whenever anything comes up and write down what happened. So that way you can examine it later and learn more. So keep practicing, keep trying new things, keep expanding, and keep being awesome.